Training in the seminaries and institutes intends to improve an individual's ability to apply correct principles and to use fundamental skills. It helps leaders and teachers better understand and meet the objective of religious education and fulfill their commission to live the gospel, teach effectively, and administer appropriately. In this series of micro trainings, we will focus on creating an annual training plan based on our assessment and current emphasis of the Church Board of Education, and then creating a micro training that will best help and engage our teachers. Trainings are supposed to lessen the gap between our teachers' existing skills, knowledge, and attitude to what is expected of them. To do this, it is necessary that a coordinator conducts an assessment. This can be based on their spiritual discernment, classroom observations, formal assessment, and expressed needs by the teachers. From this information, an annual training plan will be crafted with additional inputs from the current emphasis of the Church Board of Education. Once topics are chosen and laid out throughout the year, a series of weekly 5 to 7 minutes micro trainings will then be created. Part of the plan should also include following up on the skills during the 1 month 30 minutes meeting with each teacher. Let us have a quick look at assessment. Our assessment should help us focus on the needs of students and teachers. One way to decide what training is needed is to analyze the three parts of the commission: live, teach, and administer appropriately. A leader can identify areas for training by comparing expected performance with the actual performance for each aspect of the commission. Training in each of these areas is based upon what is emphasized in the standard works by the Church Board of Education and other church leaders. This will now help us create a holistic training plan that has a focus on the principles, doctrines, abilities, and skills associated with the objectives of S&I. So, how will our training plan look like? To achieve our purpose, it has to help our teachers live the gospel of Jesus Christ. Our training should help our teachers improve their performance in their calling, their knowledge about the gospel, their attitudes, and characters. In order for us to help them improve their teaching skills, we should spend more time on helping them develop the skills needed as outlined in the Principles of Gospel Teaching and Learning Handbook. Help them apply the skills needed in helping our student learn deeply of the gospel and inculcate other important learning emphases that our leaders have invited us to do so. It is also important that our teachers become good administrators of their classes. We can include in our plan the use of WISE and other administering tools. We can also help them find ways to increase enrollment and completion and to be able to effectively use learning assessments. Let us look how I did this in my training plan. Because of the inability for my teachers and students to meet face-to-face, most of them decided to use virtual classes as the mode for teaching. There was then a need for me to equip my teachers in handling their virtual classes. So, the first quarter focused on virtual teaching tools, creating lesson modules, and resources for remote learning. This part of the training plan is based on the assessment that I personally conducted and the desired needs of the teachers. There was also a need for me to include the instructions of Chad Webb to all teachers and administrators regarding innovating our classes during the June 2020 annual training broadcast. And finally, the focus on deep learning will be introduced during the remaining months of the school year. It is important that we strike a balance between the result of our assessment and the church's emphasis. So how will each topic look like? Here is an example of the topics I included for the month of September. In these trainings, I help the teachers in using the course curriculum in creating lesson modules that will fit the needs and abilities of their students. It was also necessary that I help them learn the skills in engaging their students in a remote learning atmosphere, and finally help them write their assignments, a concern which most of them was facing at the time. It is important that our plan is comprehensive and caters to the needs of both our individual teachers and students. President Henry B. Eyring said, "If you gave no training or did not watch to see that the training was enough, you failed them and the Lord." Now, Let's pause for a while and try to practice creating a plan using the resources that will be handed out to you. As you do this, ask the following questions. What are the needs of our teachers and students now? What are the current priorities or instructions of our leaders? After making the list, create a balance by asking which of these topics or priorities will I include in my plan? You can then plan for the resources that you will use in creating your annual training plan. And finally, based on the topics and resources selected, what specific skills should I include for my micro trainings? In the end, our plans are not written on stone, so be flexible. You can always modify it based on the needs of your teachers and students.